Man, is it good to be back. YouTube, what is going on? It's Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers, and we are back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking all about the Steelers 2025 training camp process, as we've been in camp for about 4 days. So if you guys are Steelers fans or you enjoy NFL content in general, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. We are on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Shout out to the people who have subscribed already. And shout out to the future subscribers, man. Also, let's get a shout out to the members. If you guys would like to support me and my channel more, be sure to hit that join button down in the description below. And I still got it, man. Shout out to everybody who has heard that intro before. I haven't done it in a little bit, but I just felt like bringing it back because we are in the 2025 season. We finally made it through the offseason. We finally made it to this point. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff here. I'll be honest. There's a lot of clips floating the Twitter streets. Before I super duper get into it, I want to give a thank you to everybody who is actually at camp right now. Everybody who is pulling out their phone. Everybody who is hitting that record button and providing us with these plays that are happening. I heard today specifically that they've been cracking down on the recording thing. Now, I don't know, how deep they can enforce that. I don't know, if we got somebody out there like, sneaking the phone out or whatever, but apparently today they're starting to crack down on it. So I really do appreciate everybody who was there, live and direct, giving us this content. So shout out to everybody who's doing it. And I won't be able to cover everything, right? Because a lot of things have happened. It's been 4 days. There's been plays here. There's been plays there. Like, for example, I don't think I have Connor Hayward. I don't think I have a single Connor Hayward play up there. But that does not mean he isn't balling, because we all know Connor Hayward is a baller. We all know all of the Steelers are ballers, and we're going to talk about a lot of players on the team currently. But yes, I did go live like maybe a day or two ago, and this was after the first day of training camp. So there was a lot of clips back there as well. Also, look on the TikTok and the shorts. Like I've been clipping up stuff. I've been making my own little edits. There's just so much happening right now in terms of football. And I know everybody out there, even if you're not a Steelers fan, I know you are super excited to be at this point in life right now. The offseason, it was long. We were watching the NBA Finals, like the Pacers. The Pacers kind of kept me afloat for a little bit, but after they lost, it was like, shit, I guess we got to watch baseball. And for all the Yinzers, all the baseball fans out there in Pittsburgh, you know how that goes with the Pirates. And so we've been waiting for the Steelers to come back. And before we really get into the training camp stuff, I do want to start it off with this, because as you can see from Mike Tomlin, big time congratulations to Joey Porter, Marquise Pouncey, and Ben Roethlisberger on being selected to the Hall of Honor class of 2025. These guys were incredible players, and obviously, there's been a few players, I believe, elected to the Hall of Honors. I believe Heath Miller is there. If Heath Miller's not there, let me know. But obviously, we have a lot of players there. But now, it's starting to hit really, really different, man. When you see Big Ben Roethlisberger up there and Marquise Pouncey and Joey Porter, these are players that I literally watched, damn near their whole career. Joey Porter, he was a little earlier than me. But Marquise Pouncey and Big Ben, that's my quarterback and that's my center, man. Nobody deserves it more than those three guys right there. Just incredible players. And the fact that they're going into the Hall of Honor, that is something that we have to start off with. That is something that we have to celebrate with. All three of these guys should be Hall of Famers as well. I'm pretty sure they all will be, especially Big Ben Roethlisberger. We know how good he is. We know how he gets down. And speaking of Hall of Famers, right, because we started off with this. Speaking of Hall of Famers, I don't know if you guys heard this. But Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback, man. And look at this fucking throw to DK Metcalf, ladies and gentlemen. Now, obviously, this ball was out of bounds. And we just talked about his dad, but Joey Porter Jr. on the defensive coverage. We just talked about his dad, but Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf, this connection, this duo is going to carry us into this season. We are going to be a top offense, and it is because Aaron Rodgers is not done. And obviously, this ball is out of bounds. We all get that. We all understand that. We've seen the clip probably a million times, and we know DK is out of bounds. But it is just about the big play ability that can happen with this team. You see Will Howard in the background too. It is just about the risks that we need to take this season. I am tired of us not taking risks, I'll be honest. I am tired of us having players like George Pickens and having players like Calvin Austin and us just refusing to push the ball down the field. And so I'm hoping with Aaron Rodgers out there, a certified Hall of Famer, he's going to be first ballot. With DK Metcalf out there, is he a Hall of Famer? I'm not sure. But he's been a solid wide receiver his whole career. I am sure that we're going to be pushing the ball down the field, because not only do we have DK Metcalf, right, who's a a stud. We got rid of George Pickens. Not only do we have him, but we have the backfield that we have. You can see Kenneth Gainwell out here in pass protection. We have the weapons now. We have Jonnu Smith, who practiced for the first time today, and we will talk about him in a little bit. We have Muth. We have Calvin Austin. We have Darnell Washington, who was another player that we're going to talk about. We have the pieces on the offense. It has just been about us not being able to make it click. Arthur Smith, he did okay last year, but we kind of went stagnant as the year ended. Hopefully, Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to propel us. Hopefully, he's going to be able to kind of, use his history, use his lineage to kind of free ball it out there and push the ball down the fucking field, man. Let's be honest. That is the word I'm dancing around. That is the term I'm dancing around. But we need to start pushing the ball down the field. And I understand for the final time that DK Metcalf was out of bounds. I don't want to hear it because everyone's going to say it. We know he was out of bounds. But the point is, we are willing to take risks. We have the personnel to take risks. And that is all we can ask for, honestly. As fans, as Omar Khan, who's built the team, he's given the opportunity out there. He's gotten us the players to be able to move the ball, and so now we just got to capitalize on it, man. That's really all that it's about. And here's another play right here. This is a touchdown to our guy Pat Freiermuth here, and this is what I mean with all these people like in the stands recording. By the way, like shout out to all you guys for giving me this clip. But yes, Aaron Rodgers, you can see offense versus defense. This is probably in like the 7 shots or whatever. Pat Freiermuth quickly is just going to get to the outside and get the touchdown. That right there is a very quick move, a very quick route. Will this work in an actual game? I'm not sure. But we know how Arthur Smith loves his tight ends. And boy, do we have a ton of tight ends. We have a plethora. We have Pat Freiermuth. We have Jonnu Smith. We have Darnell Washington. And we still do have Connor Hayward. But he's, I think, like the fullback or something. Like Connor Hayward, he's just a jack of all trades. He plays special teams. I wouldn't be surprised if we had Connor Hayward out there on defense this season. But we have plenty of tight ends, and we know how Arthur Smith loves to use them. We need to get touchdowns to our tight ends, like especially Darnell Washington. And I think I do have a clip of him, like, practicing he got a touchdown in practice, right? And I believe I have a clip of that up. But I am tired of us getting to the red zone and just stalling out or whatever. And we have Pat, and we have Jonnu Smith now, and we have Darnell Washington. Like, there should be no reason why Darnell Washington doesn't get a ball thrown to him every single time we're in the red zone. And eventually, I understand teams are going to catch on to it. But you got to give him the chance. The dude is 6'9", 6'10". He's almost 7 feet tall, and we just refuse to use him in the red zone. That to me is just nonsense. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to kind of bring that back down to earth and start doing the smart approach, which is throwing the ball to Darnell Washington. And this guy Chris, he said, "Dear God, please let this play calling follow us into the season, man." Because that's a fact. We need especially in the red zone, because outside the red zone, we have the deep threats like DK and Calvin Austin where we can just go and get a 50-yard bomb. But we need to become a much more creative team when it comes to the red zone, because that has been our downfall for season in and season out. It predates Arthur Smith, honestly. It predates Aaron Rodgers, obviously. It predates a lot of these players on the team, but we haven't been able to score in the red zone, I think, since we had Antonio Brown, honestly. Like, we haven't been able to score in the red zone since Big Ben was throwing to fucking Chase Claypool and shit. And even then, it was shaky. Like, we were putting up 6 points a game in that era. You know what I mean? Next up, an absolute dime to Calvin Austin III. This is another play here by Aaron Rodgers. He's throwing the ball to Calvin Austin III. I'm going to kind of back it up in a little bit. But you can see Aaron Rodgers in the shotgun, gets the snap. Not the best snap, but he just throws it on the run. And you can see if Calvin catches this ball in stride, I understand a tackle was somewhat made, but if we can get Calvin Austin the ball in stride, he is going to be a playmaker for us. He is someone who can turn a 10-yard gain into a 30-yard gain, into a 40-yard gain, and get us into the red zone where we chuck the ball up to Darnell Washington, where we chuck the ball up to Jonnu Smith or Pat Freiermuth, or we just give them a chance to make the play. That's all we can ask for out of the coaching staff. All we can ask for is to give your players the opportunity. And speaking of giving players an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you're watching this. This probably isn't the best time to do this or the best play to do this. But you can see, what's his name? Broderick Jones right here, kind of getting blown by again. Really, in a game, is this a sack? I'm not sure, but just the overall points of everyone hating on Broderick Jones, I understand. Trust me, I'm a pretty big proponent of it, but we have to, at the very least, Steelers fans, can we just keep the hating on him to ourselves? can we just keep it like to ourselves for a second? Because the more we tweet, the more we talk about it, the more we're going to run this guy out of town. And maybe, maybe he stinks. Maybe he's just not the best, but I just don't think now is the time to say that. He's finally in his natural position. He is finally going to be able to, show us what he's about, because he's done okay. Like, we've had worse offensive linemen, including but not limited to Dan Moore, and Dan Moore got to play for us forever. And, we weren't really the biggest fans of Dan Moore, but he still got to go out there and play. Like, Broderick Jones, I feel like, has shown that he's been, okay at the very least. There's been a lot of head scratchers. There's been a lot of bad plays, but we can't just absolutely destroy Broderick Jones' confidence. We need to build the guy up going into the season, because he has to protect Aaron Rodgers. Same thing with Troy Fautanu coming back for injury. We need these guys to be the edges. We need these guys to block, the Myles Garretts and shit out there, even though Myles, I guess he kind of comes in. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the edge rushing position in the NFL right now is super duper tough. I can't imagine how hard it is to be a tackle in this time and era. And so we need Broderick Jones. We need him to give him some confidence. Like, low key, and I know this doesn't make sense because, like, in the games, it wouldn't go like this, but, like, we should tell Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt in practice, like, yo, go all out. Obviously, go as hard as you can for how hard you're going in practice. Do that. But every now and then, maybe you just take a little bit of a playoff, let Broderick Jones pancake you, just to instill some confidence in the guy, just to instill some confidence in Broderick Jones. Because right now, I think that's all he needs. I think all he needs is a little bit of confidence, because right now, he goes out there, he plays, and then he checks Twitter, and, he's standing still. Nobody's near him. Like, there's a lot of Broderick Jones plays where, like, he's blocking, but nobody is around, Like, we need to get this guy some confidence. So Alex Highsmith, Jack Sawyer, Nick Herbig, TJ Watt, go hard for 99% of the time. But in that 1%, build Broderick Jones up some confidence, and maybe he can just do it without you going hard, or without you going late. Maybe eventually he's going to start pancaking you regardless. I'm not sure, but we need to get this guy some confidence. We can't boo him off the team. He's an absolute premium position player right now, is Broderick Jones, because that left tackle spot, our tackle depth, our offensive line depth, I don't think is the greatest right now. And so we got to build up that confidence. We can't give up on him. Next up, here we go. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. We got to play to Darnell Washington in the back of the end zone. And this, to me, it baffles me. It blows my mind how this isn't ours every single play, every single game. I don't understand it, because everybody, and if you see Darnell Washington out there, you know that he's probably going to get the ball. But the thing is he is so tall. He is so big that, like, what are you going to do? Like, it literally is going to come down to the one-on-one matchup. And I think if you throw the ball high enough, like, there is no reason for Darnell not to be able to get it. Otherwise, it's going to be a flag, because, like, in order to stop him from catching it, you literally got to edge spear him off the ladder at WrestleMania. That's the only way that you can prevent Darnell from catching the ball, is if you do some illegal shit. And if that's the case, then boom, first down, we get 3 more plays, and on the next play, so you get the flag, right? Darnell's going up for it. He can't catch it because, like, you speared the guy. Next play, throw that shit right back to him. And we'll keep playing the game of, like, is it a flag? Is it not a flag? Eventually he's going to come down with the ball. Like, we should run this play every single time. In fact, I said this last year, but I'm bringing it back. I'm putting $5 down on Darnell Washington anytime touchdown this season, every single game, because I swear to God, he should get at least 10 touchdowns this year. At least. If we get into the position, if we get there, and we also have DK Metcalf, by the way, who's, like, not the shortest receiver out there. He's like 6'4" in himself, so we should be running fades all game. So we have them fade out, and then eventually, they'll catch on. They'll start sending a safety over here. They'll start double teaming over there. That's when you send Muth up the middle. That's when you run the ball. That's when you do, the creative shit that Arthur Smith loves to do. You do the simple shit first, and then Arthur Smith, you allow him to get deep in his bag, and that's when you get the Connor Hayward touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? But we have to start with using our playmakers like Darnell Washington, in my opinion. Next up, this is what I didn't have a play up from Jonnu Smith, but you can see he was out there practicing. We got him and Muth over here, and I have this picture up, and I have this, like, 7 shots at Camp Day 4. Defense ended up winning this, but the reason why I wanted to talk about this was you can see Jonnu Smith gets a touchdown. A pass was thrown to DK. It got broken up by Juan Thornhill. And then Pat Freiermuth gets a touchdown. Mason Rudolph comes in. Apparently there was a drop and then an Eccles interception from Mason Rudolph. And then Will Howard, he throws a touchdown. And then Aaron Rodgers, an incomplete pass. He threw an incomplete pass, right? But the main reason why I brought this up was you can see Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth right here. Like, we have, and I guess DK Metcalf, who's a tall guy, but we are going to be using our tight ends a lot. Like, I've never seen a team built like this, honestly, and maybe I'm just a casual, but I've never seen a team with, you know, their wide receiver weapons being at the tight end position, because we have DK and Calvin Austin and maybe even Roman Wilson. But then you look at the tight ends, and these guys, they're not just like, that's, at least that's what they tell me. Rick, if you're watching this, Muth lovers, if you're watching this, I know I've been very critical of Pat Freiermuth. I'm not the highest on him, but everybody is telling me that, like, he is this problem. He is not one of these regular tight ends. He is not a top 15 tight end. He's a top 10 tight end. He's like really, really good. And so you have him out there. And then also Jonnu Smith, same thing. People are telling me he's really, really good. He played pretty well for the Dolphins last season when, you know, everybody was hurt. When you give him the ball, when you give him opportunity, he shows that he can, like, you know, do something with it. So these aren't just like regular tight ends. This isn't, no offense, because that's our guy, but this isn't like Jesse James out there. These are people who, you know, you really factor your offense into them, like, you know. And so, like, I've never seen a team have like the kind of lack at wide receiver, but they make up for it at tight end. I think that is like an Arthur Smith thing. That's a 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers thing. That's a highest paid defense in the world thing, and we don't really care about the offense. Now, is it going to work? I'm not sure, but I'm hoping and praying that it does, because I believe in the vision and I believe in the team. And so if we got to throw, you know, 40 touchdowns this year, if Aaron Rodgers gets 40 touchdowns and 25 of them are to tight ends, then I think that works. You know what I'm saying? I think the plan went according to plan, if that's the case, because it seems like that's what we want. And we're not even talking about Darnell yet. I haven't even mentioned him, who, once again, should be an easy-ass red zone target every single time. That should be a touchdown every single time, man. Next up, next up, we can talk about the running backs, because I did a lot of talking, right, about our pass catchers, about DK, Calvin, Roman Wilson, our tight ends. I did a lot of talking about them. But now I want to talk about the running backs, because you see Jaylen Warren out here. This is him talking about rookie Caleb Johnson.
True. You know, he comes in ready to work every day. You know, obviously,
they got the lawnmower going.
Got it all, but he's still looking for that winning edge to, you know, get better.
Okay, so there was like a lawnmower back there. I low-key didn't even hear that until just now. But if you guys couldn't hear, he was talking about Caleb Johnson, and you see his skill set, what he does out here. He has all of the tools, and he's just looking for things to make himself better, right? Caleb Johnson is coming out of Iowa just absolutely hooping, right? And like, we're all big fans of Caleb Johnson. And then on top of that, we have Kenneth Gainwell out there. And then our guy, Jaylen Warren, who's looking to be the RB1. I believe he comes out there with the ones most of the time. Now, there is going to be a split, of course, between him and Caleb for sure. But Jaylen Warren is somebody who we've all been excited about, who we've all been preaching about, and now he gets his opportunity to not only be that RB1, but also like a leader for the room. Because remember, he came in as the undrafted guy. He was under Najee Harris, and I think Najee was, you know, pretty cool in the locker room. I didn't really hear any crazy things about Najee Harris. I like the quotes that I got out of him. But now Jaylen Warren has been elevated to like that veteran role, like that veteran RB1. He gets to play and he has to lead. So he's coaching up Caleb Johnson. And what do we know about Jaylen Warren? The guy is fast, the guy is tough, and the guy blocks his fucking ass off, man, because here he is in pass protection, just fucking mauling people. This is a guy who I want teaching all the running backs, honestly. Like, I could not be happier with Jaylen Warren being the veteran for the running back room. And then, of course, you know, Kenneth Gainwell is also a veteran, but you could see he's just tossing him down, man. And you see he stands over him. That's the dog mentality. That Jaylen Warren, we all love Jaylen Warren. We all love Jaylen Warren. And this isn't even just like a running highlight. Like, we know how good he is out of the backfield. We know how good he is as a pass catcher. But him as a run blocker, him in support, or I'm sorry, like a pass blocker, him in blocking support, he is a dog. And I just love Jaylen Warren. If I don't have a 30 jersey by the end of the season over there, then I failed as a Steelers fan, because Jaylen, outside of Chris Boswell, is my favorite Pittsburgh Steeler right now. Speaking of, you know, the running back room, I did want to get this play up from Caleb Johnson. If you guys have seen, there's been a ton of clips coming out of this guy. But Caleb, he's patient. He waits for the hole to develop. We get some good blocking. And then when he finds the hole, he is able to kind of pick up speed. He's able to burst through it. Kind of like our guy, Le'Veon Bell, in the past. He has that potential. We don't want to put it on him because Le'Veon was a fantastic player for us, but he has all of the capabilities to do so. When he hits open space, his speed, like, it doesn't look that fast, but his speed, he's just blowing by people. He has real game padded football speed. He was like that at Iowa. He's already worn the black and gold. Now he's coming into Pittsburgh. He has the body frame. Everybody is speaking very, very highly about Caleb Johnson. And so when I watch him run, when I watch him like let the blocks develop, when I watch him, burst through the hole, I can only be excited. And then we hand the ball back to Jaylen Warren, and then we hand the ball back to Kenneth Gainwell, and then we play action and we throw the red zone touchdown to Darnell Washington. This offense low-key has unlimited potential. And is it because Aaron Rodgers is here? Is it because Arthur Smith is in his bag? Is it because we have DK Metcalf? Is it because we have 62 tight ends? Is it because, who knows the real reason? But I just feel like now is the time where all of these pieces have come together. All of the, big truzz ideas that the Steelers have been throwing at us, like, yeah, we're going to hire Arthur Smith. Yeah, we're going to keep this coach. We're going to keep the offensive line. We're going to keep this. We're going to keep that. We're going to, get another tight end. Like, all of the pieces, all of the cooks. They traded George Pickens, for example. That's apparently something they wanted to do. And, like, we were just like, no, because we love George Pickens. But they've wanted to do the thing. Like, they finally got to do it. They finally got to get rid of George Pickens. And then finally, we get Aaron Rodgers. We've been wanting Aaron Rodgers since 2020. I know no one really believes it because we're all in like this live now moment. But I remember in 2020 when Big Ben was still out there playing with Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers kind of flirting. And like once that situation in Green Bay went crazy with Aaron Rodgers, it was like, oh, is he going to be a Steeler? And then no, it was Kenny Pickett. And then no, it was Mitch Trubisky. And then no, it was Russell Wilson. It was Justin Fields. We were doing other shit. We didn't want to just let them, be together. But Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin, it's true love, man. Honestly, it's true love. It's destiny, and you cannot interfere with destiny. At some point, Aaron Rodgers was always bound to be the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, and now here he is. He beat us in the Super Bowl, even. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is destiny. And this is destiny. And we are going to fucking win the Super Bowl this year because it's our destiny, man. I don't make the rules. I'm just following the tea leaves, and that's what the tea leaves are showing me. Next up, we got Will Howard, because I do want to talk about Will Howard a little bit as you see this fucking, oh my God, that was a seed. That was a fucking amazing throw out of Will. Hold on, let's back this up a little bit. I do want to talk about Will Howard as well. Maybe not so much Mason Rudolph, but Will Howard specifically, because from what he's been showing, especially with the ability of Aaron Rodgers, right, provided he stays healthy, and maybe even Mason Rudolph comes into play a little bit, we can give this guy real time to develop as a passer, because he's proven in college, and maybe even in high school, I'm not sure, but he's proven that if you give him time, if you let him develop, if you give him the tools to succeed, which I believe, we haven't had the best track record of like building up quarterbacks, but we are a top organization in the league. We have Mike Tomlin, who like could motivate a rock to be a fish. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have these pieces in place for Will Howard. Like, if we just give him time, there is no reason why this guy can't be our quarterback of the future. And every interview I hear from the guy, every play I see from the guy, the more I learn about him, the more plays I watch at Ohio State that he was able to make. It just makes me very excited that we were able to get Will Howard in the 6th round versus, and it's not just me, a lot of you guys wanted Shedeur Sanders. Like, I'm glad we did that versus getting Shedeur, and maybe that remains to be seen. Maybe he's going to be like this, Shedeur is going to be like this all-pro Hall of Fame quarterback, but for now, I'm comfortable having Will Howard, and in fact, I'm happy we got him with a 6th round pick, because if it doesn't work out, it was just a 6th round pick. We were talking about taking Shedeur Sanders over Derek fucking Harmon. And if you guys hadn't heard about Derek Harmon, he's oh my God, do you see this play? If you guys haven't heard about Derek Harmon, he is chewing, but I really want to see what just happened in 93, because he was on the floor for a while just now. He got stuck. Oh my God, who is 72 on the offensive line? Is that Dylan Cook? Is that Spencer Anderson? He just mauled him. Holy shit. And he held him on the ground. We need, who's 93 even? We need answers, and we need names on these players right here. But anyway, back to Will Howard. I believe in the guy. I think he's going to be a beast. I think he's going to be a monster. And this was a very good throw out of him. Next up. Okay, yeah, speaking more now, we're going to go to kind of the defensive side of the ball as we have Joey Porter Jr. versus DK Metcalf. Now, obviously, we saw one pass earlier where it went out of bounds, and then this is going to be another play in the red zone. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be in the shotgun. He's going to get the snap. He tries to throw the fade to DK Metcalf back there, and Joey Porter Jr. just able to have enough coverage to make the drop happen. Maybe DK should come up with that. Does George Pickens come up with that? Are we going to be saying that all year? That remains to be seen. But what I'm saying is Joey Porter Jr. has been thrown into the fire since day one. The moment we drafted him, you're our #1 cornerback. The moment we drafted him, you got to guard George Pickens in practice. You got to do this. You got to do that. We need you. Do we have help behind you? We have Minka, but past that, I mean, our cornerback situation's been a little iffy. Obviously, we had, what's his name, Dante Jackson a little bit. We're still waiting for Corey Trice to, like, be healthy enough to be that piece behind him. But for his first 2 or 3 seasons, Joey Porter Jr. has just been thrown to the wolves, and it's just like it's one-on-one on an island, and he's capitalized on that. Like he's been more good than he has been bad for sure. The only thing you can really say about him is he gets these holding calls sometimes, but he's made the glove adjustment. Now he's wearing the gloves the same color as the opposing team, and he has some real veteran dogs behind him now in Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey. He held out firm, and all he's done is worked and done his best, and now he has the help, and we're looking for him to be a top 5 corner this year. We're looking for him to perhaps make a Pro Bowl, and then maybe even be an all-pro player, because we all believe he has that potential. He has the length. He has the skill set. He has the lineage, because his father is being inducted in the Steelers Hall of Honor this season. Like, it was just like I said, Aaron Rodgers for us was destiny. It was destiny for Joey Porter Jr. to become a Steeler and play well for us. And thank God that the Chicago Bears were able to give us Joey Porter Jr. for Chase Claypool. Thank God. And you can see, once again, last time, he just stops this rep. And so that's great defense out of Joey Porter. And then lastly, or not lastly, but this is a post about the defense. It says, this defense is something special. And before I even play it, we can just look around at the names and the faces on here. We got Jalen Ramsey here. I believe that's Patrick Queen. Then we got Nick Herbig over here. Yaya Black on the defensive line. Derek Harmon over here. Keanu Benton in the middle. Maybe this is Joey Porter Jr. right here. This kind of looks like Peyton Wilson over here, but that could be Jack Sawyer. We're going to let this play, and I kind of want to just watch what happens on this one. You can see, is that Aaron Rodgers? That is Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to hand the ball off to Jaylen Warren. And immediately, something that pops out to me is not only Yaya Black is fucking huge. Not only is he huge, but you can see he's beating Broderick Jones, man. He's beating Broderick Jones. It just is what it is. I believe that has to be Yaya Black, right? If I'm wrong about that, I apologize, but I'm just assuming it's Yaya Black. He's blowing this play up immediately. This should be a tackle for a loss in actual game coverage. And this, I'm not going to really harp too much on Broderick Jones, but you just see, less about Broderick Jones and more about just the potential of this defensive line. How many times have backup running backs absolutely smoked us? It has been too many times. It is why we selected 2 defensive tackles in this NFL draft this season. It is why we have beefed up even more the secondary, because we want to send blitzers. We want to send Patrick Queen up there. We want to send Peyton Wilson down. We want to send all of these people. Jalen Ramsey, he's a very good blitzer at the cornerback position. We want to stop this fucking running thing, and the way you stop it is being beastly in the front. You stop it by being beastly, and you can see this formation. I'm not exactly a football, nerd or whatever. I love watching football, but if you want X's and O's, go, Chris Berman or some shit, John Madden, rest in peace. But you can see we got 3 on the front, and then Nick Herbig on the edge, and I believe this is Jack Sawyer. But really, this is a 3-man push on the front end. And you see the play starts, and Nick Herbig, he's all the way over here by Roman Wilson. The run play is, having them move to the right side, right? But our 3 defensive linemen, including Yaya Black, this is a one-on-one. This should be a tackle for a loss. And even if Jaylen Warren, because he's a beast, he shakes him off. Look at all of our defenders in the area. Like, this is, and if he cuts up the middle, we got Jalen right there. Or cuts up the left side, we got Jalen right there. This is a stone wall at the defensive line position. And this is all we can ask for. And Jalen, he's not able to do it. He actually gets tackled in a training camp, in a no pads, just helmets, shorts are on. Like, he actually gets tackled because we are just smothering it. Now, on the offensive side, I talked a lot about it, but I would like some better blocks, of course. I hope we do get better at the blocking thing. But if the defense is allowing, 50 rushing yards a game and holding teams to 10 points, we should be able to win all these games. And so even if our offense is lacking, the defense should be able to pick up the slack. This should be the best defense that we have had in a while. And last season, at the beginning of the year, I thought that was a really good defense. But this defense should be better this season. And so the sky is the limit with this team, honestly. Next up there, okay, here we go. We got a Jalen Ramsey interception here. This is what I want to end the video with, this Jalen Ramsey interception. You can see Aaron Rodgers, play action pass. He's rolling out. He's going to try to fire it off his back foot. And, of course, this is training camp, and so, you don't want to just fuck around. But I don't think Aaron makes this play, in real life in a game. But even so, Jalen Ramsey is one of the ones that you cannot mess with. He is going to intercept the ball. And I still can't believe that the guy is a Steeler, man. You can see the players hyping him up as well. It is just cinema. It is a beautiful time to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And I'm very excited to see more things come out of training camp as they have the day off. I believe Monday, right? So their next time they're going to play is going to be on Tuesday. And so for now, we can kind of, gather our thoughts a little bit. We can collect these clips and we can just bask in the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go to the Super Bowl this year and get that 7th ring, and Aaron Rodgers is going to get a 2nd, and Mike Tomlin is going to get his 3rd, and we're just going to be people. By the way, people don't know that Mike Tomlin won a ring when he was like a whatchamacallit, like an assistant coach or whatever. People don't know that about him. So the guy actually does have 2 rings and a 3rd Super Bowl appearance, but that's neither here nor there. You guys have been sleeping on Mike Tomlin for way too long. You guys have been sleeping on the Steelers for way too long, and this is the year that we prove everybody wrong. And so with all that said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoy the Steelers, if you enjoy talking about the Steelers, definitely be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment, and we can talk about it a little bit. I'm not sure the next time I'll be live, but I do love going live and talking with you guys. So once again, stick around the channel. Maybe you'll catch a live. Maybe we'll get to talk as it's happening, as we're all watching these plays develop. Anyways, this has been Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.